everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to share everything that I've picked up from the Sephora sale so far, and we have quite a large haul today. Big bag, medium size bag, so I'm going to go through everything, share what I picked up, and of course I'm going to try as many things on my face as I can. I won't be able to try everything today, but there will probably be a part 2 for this video for the things that I can't try. But I'm going to share everything with you today. So this is probably going to be a long one. So grab a snack, grab a cup of coffee, whatever, hang out with me, and let's go through everything that I've purchased so far. And if you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on my channel. I would love for you to stick around, subscribe, and let's just get into the haul. So I did actually film this video yesterday, and when I went to edit it, I realized, long story, but one of my camera settings was off and it just made the whole video, the lighting look really messed up. So I had to delete all of that footage, which was very painful. But the positive is that I've tried a lot of these things and I wore them all day yesterday, so I kind of have thoughts on them already. But we're gonna try them again today. But anyway, yesterday just wasn't my day for filming, but today's gonna be better. Let's get right into it. So I have most of the makeup stuff in this bag, and then at the end I'll share the other random things that I got, just some hair things, just a little bit of skincare, but we'll save that for the end. But I did get 2 primers. I'm only going to use one today, but I'll share both of them. So this is the first one. This is the new Ciele primer with SPF 30. This is one of the main things I really wanted to get during the sale. I've had this on my loves list since it came out a few weeks ago. And this I was so intrigued by because I love this brand. I love the Tint and Protect tint, as you probably know from Ciele, and I like pretty much everything that I've tried from that brand. So I was really excited to see a new product from them. So I did get that. And then the other thing that I picked up, this is it's very random actually. This is not really a new product anymore, but I've always wanted to try this from Refy. Did you know that this brand is pronounced Refy? I and a lot of people I think have been pronouncing it as refy. It's not, it's Refy. I heard the founder of this brand saying that on her Instagram. So I'm gonna start pronouncing it correctly. It is Refy, the Face Primer, Glow, and Sculpt. So this one was very popular on TikTok there for a while, probably about a year ago now, but it's in this gray tube, but it has the roller ball right here. So you squeeze it and the primer comes out here and you basically just roll it on your face. I'm not going to use this one today. We'll use this one in the part 2. But I'm excited to try this. I was just kind of curious, and I've heard this is really hydrating if you have dry skin. So I did get that one as well. But let's use the Ciele primer today. Now this one is SPF 30. It's 10% zinc oxide. And this one is just in a green tube, so the deep green Ciele color. I kind of like this packaging. Pretty simple, but I like the tube. And so I did use this yesterday and I really liked it. So you can see that it feels kind of like a lightweight gel lotion that's very hydrating and just adds some glow and some hydration, but there's no like shimmer in it or anything. It just gives your skin a little bit of radiance, but nothing that's too much. And I did already apply SPF before this, so I'm not using this as SPF. This is kind of just extra SPF for me. So while I'm waiting for that to kind of dry down, it says that you can use this as a base for makeup to create a smooth canvas that enhances makeup grip for all day hydration, sun protection, and long-lasting wear. So it's supposed to do, I guess, a little bit of everything. Hydrate, give you some glow, and be a little bit gripping. It does have like a little bit of a tacky feel to it. Not anything really, really sticky, but it does have a little bit of tackiness to it. Okay, it's been on my skin for about 5 minutes or so. And I do like to let this one kind of set for a minute, but I do really like this so far. Yesterday, my first time using it, I really enjoyed it. It did not pill with my SPF underneath, which is great. It didn't interfere with my foundation that I used. It's really, really pretty. Definitely does add some glow, like as you can see, but there is no shimmer. So even if you look really close, there's no like glitter on your face or anything like that. But it definitely does add some glow, some hydration. If you have oily skin, I don't know that this is a necessary product. If you are dry though, and you are looking for something to really prep, you might really like this because I enjoyed it yesterday, but my skin is on the dry side right now. I'm pregnant, so my skin is dry. Let's move into what I got for foundation. Now, this time, believe it or not, I only got one foundation, which is kind of surprising. But I did get the Givenchy Prisme Libre Glow Serum Foundation. I have never tried a foundation from Givenchy. I've tried the concealer, I've tried the loose powder, of course, and then I want to say a long time ago I had a lip product maybe from Givenchy, but I've never tried the foundation. It's very thin, very liquidy, so I'm going to really shake mine up. I did get shade 1.5C. When I was in Sephora, this foundation to me looked like it ran warm. Even in the cooler shades didn't seem that cool to me. So I did go with a cool shade instead of a neutral. So like that's a cool shade right there. I feel like they definitely run a little bit warm personally, but this foundation is so thin, like incredibly thin. I don't remember when I was in the store it being this thin. And I'm gonna start blending with the 115 from BK Beauty. And actually, I think this shade match is really good for me. I was a little bit unsure. I was kind of going between 1.5N and 1.5C. I ended up going with 1.5C, but I think that was the right choice. It's so thin, it blends in like instantly. Very little effort required. So that is about one pump of product. And I think it's a pretty good shade match. The coverage I would say is medium. I don't think this is a super buildable foundation. I think this is about as much as you're gonna get because it is so thin and like watery in terms of the texture, but it's really pretty. Really, really pretty. It does have some glow. Some of the glow is coming from that Ciele primer though, because I haven't worn this yet without the Ciele primer, but it is very, very pretty. If you are oily, again, you might be able to get away with this foundation if you didn't use a really glowy primer underneath, but I definitely don't think you need both if you have oily skin. It does have a smell. I did want to point that out. This has a kind of light floral smell. It's not anything overpowering, but it's definitely there and you can smell it as you're applying it. So if you don't like fragrance, keep that in mind. But I think this is really, really pretty. It wore beautifully on me yesterday. Okay, this is not new. I'm gonna use it for corrector before we move into concealer. I am using the old school Bobbi Brown corrector today in the shade Bisque. I don't have a new corrector that I bought at Sephora, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of this under the eyes. Such a good product if you're looking for a really good full coverage color corrector for your under eyes or really your whole face. This one is great. All right, let's move into concealer. I did pick up a new one to try. Well, actually, this is not a brand new launch, but I've never tried it. So I did get this from Refy. This is the Refy concealer. Now, I tried this yesterday as well. I didn't love this. I was hoping this was gonna give a little bit more coverage, but to me, this is a pretty true light coverage concealer. I mean, it's very, very thin, very, very thin. And it also creased pretty badly on me under the eyes. It's a nice texture. It's so thin, very hydrating, but it's not really enough coverage for me and what I like typically. So this was not a favorite, but we're gonna use it again. I bought the shade number 5. The shade is good. The shade is good, just I don't know, I wish it had a little bit more coverage. So I'm actually probably gonna mix this with something else today because I need a little bit more coverage than this provides. So that's the only new concealer that I picked up. However, I'm gonna use a little bit of this with it to add a little more coverage. This is the Dior Forever Skin Correct in the shade 1CR. And I'm gonna use a little bit of this on my face as well. I've seen a few people saying they thought the Refy concealer gave like fuller coverage. I did not experience that at all. I feel like it's definitely like a true light coverage. Blending with my N14 brush as always. Yeah, the Refy concealer, it looks pretty like on the face because it's so thin, it's really hydrating, but I did find yesterday after like a minute after I finished applying it, it really did like crease pretty badly in this inner corner area. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. It reminded me a little bit of Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, but I definitely prefer that one. Armani Luminous Silk is kind of a similar thin texture, but yeah, I think it gives a little bit more coverage than this one, and I don't find that it creases like this one did yesterday. All right, so mixed with the Dior concealer, it looks pretty good. The coverage is much better. It's not creasing as badly. I think there's still a little bit of creasing like right here, like right really close up where we all have these tiny little fine lines, but definitely looks better mixed with something else. So that's probably how I'll use it moving forward. But yeah, that one, just for what I like, is not a favorite for me. But let's move into this. I did also get from Givenchy the Prisme Libre pressed powder, the one that everybody is talking about. I'm sure you all know the drama that's gone on with this powder. Givenchy took away the original loose powder, made everybody mad. They brought it out and put mica in it, which is basically shimmer. And now they have released the pressed version of supposedly the original one. And I do think this is like the original powder. I don't know that it's identical, but I think it's close. I definitely think it's close to the original one. But I got shade number 3. It looks like this. And this one has a little brush that snaps in right here, which is kind of different. I've never seen a brush that snaps like that right there. So that's different. Let's go ahead and apply it. I actually did like this yesterday, and I was not a huge fan of the original one, the original loose powder, but that was years ago that I used that. I'm different, my skin is different now, so who knows, if I used it now, I might really like it. But back then I was not a huge fan of it. I know that's weird because everybody loves it, but for me personally, this was never like a favorite for me, the loose one. Honestly, I might try it with a puff today. Yesterday, I used a brush, or maybe I'll do one on each side. Let's do that. Let's do one on each side. I'm gonna use this powder puff from Sephora. This is in my recommendations video. It's my favorite powder puff. So if you need a new one, buy this one during the sale because it's 30% off and it's the best one. But I'm gonna use this and just kind of dip in to all the colors. So I'm going to take this and set my under eyes. I'm gonna set the T-zone also. Okay, so do you see the difference between that eye and this one? Big difference. Big difference. Definitely looks even more matte today. You know what though? I think I liked it better yesterday with the brush. The puff really does mattify, so if that's what you're looking for, the puff does do that, but it like kind of picked up my concealer right here. Do you see that? Because you can kind of see my melasma peeking through right there. And I didn't notice that yesterday when I used a brush. It also looks pretty dry under my eyes. So, okay, I'm glad I used the puff so that I know. Definitely looks very, 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 very matte right here, but I don't know that I love that actually. Oh no. Let's do a brush on the other side. Where is my brush? I used this brush yesterday, the Sephora 79. So let's use this on the other side. Okay, yeah, I definitely prefer it with the brush. This side, it still looks matte, like I said it, but it does not look as like really matte as this side and kind of dry looking, like powdery looking. This side to me looks better with the brush. I mean, it definitely did smooth the area, but I don't know that I'm obsessed with this puff side. So that's just my opinion. I would probably use a brush with it. I do feel like on both sides though, it definitely like removes some of my concealer right here, which is very annoying. And I don't know why that happened. We're gonna try to fix that a little, but I don't love that. Sad. I liked this more yesterday, but I don't know about it today. This might be a bad idea. Putting a little bit of concealer on over it. All right, so I applied a little bit more of that concealer. I'm definitely not loving my under eyes at all. Yeah, I don't know. Not loving it, not loving the concealer, and today I'm not loving this as much. Yesterday I thought this was gonna be good, but I don't know. I didn't use the puff yesterday, and I didn't feel like it looked dry, but today it definitely looks dry under my eyes. So I don't know about that, y'all. I'll have to keep testing it and let you know, but I'm not in love with it. All right, another product that I did not love yesterday, unfortunately, and these, oh my gosh, this makes me sad. The Westman Duos. Okay, so I got two of them. I got the Baby Cheeks Powder Blush Duo with Mimi and Coquette, and then I got the Baby Cheeks and the Face Trace Duo with Petal and Biscuit. And I mainly used Petal and Biscuit yesterday. I'll swatch it for you. All right, first thing, I do think the shades are a little bit different than the cream version of these two. So I'll swatch these and then I'll swatch the cream. But okay, so there's the Petal, there's Biscuit. Biscuit looks slightly warmer to me, and Petal is a little bit peachier to me in the powder than it is in the cream. So there are the creams. There's Petal, cream, Biscuit, cream, and there's the powders. See how Petal in the cream blush is more pink? This looks a little bit more peachy to me. I don't know. I mean, the cream and the powder Biscuit are not totally off, but I do think they look slightly different. And then, like I said, I got Coquette and Mimi. Now yesterday I didn't use Mimi very much, so Mimi is the deeper color, so this one, and then I used a little bit of this in the lighter pink. I like the way the formula feels. They're very smooth, kind of like velvety feeling, but yesterday I had a lot of patchiness with them. So this is Mimi and Coquette right there. So Mimi is definitely deeper, like a warmer terracotta nude, and then Coquette is a really light pink. All right, before we apply the Westman, I did also get this from Haus Labs. This is their Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. So this is the new version that they just re-released, which I'm so excited about. This is one of the best powder bronzers at Sephora, in my opinion. And I did decide to get a new shade. So they did change the shade range. Now there are 9 shades instead of 12. So they did take a few shades away, which I wish they didn't do that, but they did. But this is the lightest shade, and I swatched this yesterday, so that's why it looks like it's been swatched. But this shade, the reason I wanted this is a very neutral looking bronzer, which is very hard to find. And this is a gorgeous formula. So that is shade Fair Soleil Sand right there. See how neutral it looks? It's a little warm, a little cool. It's like right in between. So I was curious about this shade, so I did get this to try as well. Now, yesterday I used Biscuit and Petal on both sides. I had a lot of patchiness. I did not set the cheek area yesterday, and I'm guessing that's one of the reasons why I had patchiness. But I do think for the price, that shouldn't be an issue. I should be able to apply it whether the area is set or not. You know what I mean? Because these are not cheap. These are $75. $75. And the Biscuit shade in particular was very patchy. So I don't really know if I should go in with like a separate powder. I might just take what's left on this powder brush right here. This is the powder brush I use for setting powder a lot, and just kind of tap over this area, see if this makes any difference at all. I'm also gonna switch brushes, I think. I'm gonna use my Refy 05 today. I wonder if a natural bristle brush would work better. Yesterday, I used the 107 from BK Beauty, and this didn't work well with this powder. But I love that brush, so I'm guessing it's the powder. But let's go ahead and use Biscuit. You do get a lot of kick up in the pan on this one. So I'm gonna kind of tap off on the palm of my hand. And let's try this again. I'm thinking it looks patchy again. Exactly what happened yesterday. Yeah, it's like it really clings in certain areas, and then you like cannot blend it out. Like yesterday, I even went over it with my foundation brush, and even that didn't really fix it. Doesn't look as patchy as it did yesterday. I'm guessing it's because I went over it with a little bit of that powder, but it does not apply like a powder that's $75. I know you get 2, so technically it's, you know, each one is half of 75, but I mean, it still looks patchy to me right there. It just doesn't apply smoothly. And then even if you, like yesterday, I took my foundation brush and went like this, you really can't fix it. It's like it sticks in one area. Even if you tap the brush off like I did, it sticks and it does not want to like blend out. So I was hoping maybe I'd have a different experience today, but it's not looking like I'm going to. It doesn't look as patchy as yesterday, but it still doesn't look great in my opinion. And what's weird is like when you swatch these, the formula feels like it should be pretty easy to use. Very creamy, very like velvety feeling. But it's like on the skin, they just don't, like again, it just kind of stuck on my forehead right here and I have to kind of blend it out. If you've tried these, let me know your experience, but I'm not happy with these. All right, I wasn't gonna do this, but maybe we should do Haus Labs on this side. I'll use the 107 with the Haus Labs bronzer today. I'm gonna do the same thing, kind of tap it off. Now this bronzer is definitely lighter than Biscuit. Yeah, this looks better. Haus Labs, definitely more subtle, easier to apply than Petal, and you know, it's not $75. I forget what that price of the Haus Labs bronzers are, but it's definitely not as expensive as the other Westman one. So again, Haus Labs over here, Westman over here. They definitely look better, or the Westman one, it does look better than yesterday. So if you do purchase these, I would make sure that you've set the area before you even attempt to apply this. I would not go in over a really wet base with these. I don't know, like I'm just not, for $75, they should be like jumping out of the pan applying themselves, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if I could say that, or I do know, I would not spend $75 on these. All right, let's go ahead and apply the blush. So let's go in with Petal, and I'm gonna see what I think of this one. Again, I'm gonna use this angled brush from BK Beauty. It's the A507. Yesterday, I did think Petal applied a little bit better than Biscuit, but not to the point where I think the duo is worth the money. And of course, Petal's applying better today, I think. Yeah, so Petal looks better. It's Biscuit that I don't, something with it is just difficult. But yeah, Petal looks pretty. Too bad they didn't come out with these individually and not in duos. All right, I was gonna say I'll do one of the others on the other side, but all right, yeah. So Petal is applying much better today. That confuses me even more. So Petal's not bad. Biscuit is the one I'm having trouble with, I guess. I don't know. I guess I will keep testing it and let you know, but I was hoping that was going to be like one of my favorite products from the video, because that was one of the things I was most excited to get. But I'm definitely a little disappointed in that. And this, I don't really need anymore on my cheeks. I'll use this in the part 2 video. I'll take a little bit of this light pink one and just pop a little bit of that like right here. So I wonder if maybe the blush duo is better than the Biscuit. Maybe it's something to do with the bronzer formula. I don't know. But I'm not loving my makeup at all, to be honest, so far. Yeah, I'm not loving anything right now, but we're gonna keep going. I do have one more blush that I'm not gonna use today, but I did want to share it with you. Of course, I got another YSL blush because I'm just in love with these. And this color I always see Andrea Ali using in Pink Voltage, number 87. This is the hot pink looking one. How pretty. She uses this all the time and it looks so good on her. And when I swatched it in store, so it looks like really intense, but then look, like when you blend it, it's a really soft, warm, definitely bright pink, but it's much more manageable than it might seem in the pan. So I did get this as well. We'll try this in another video as well. But these from YSL, if you don't have one, this is something I can definitely recommend from the sale. This is my 3rd one because I love the other 2 that I have. All right, that's it for face products. So I'm gonna fill my brows in quickly. I didn't buy a new brow product, so I'm gonna do that real fast. And then I'll be back and we'll move into the eye products. Okay, let's move into the eye products. The first things that I got are 2 of the Armani eye tints, which if you know me, you know this is one of my favorite products at Sephora. One of them is a new shade and one of them is a restock. I restocked my 18M. So this is like my most used liquid eyeshadow. It's this really light brown beige shade. It's a little bit darker than my skin tone, but I use it all the time as a base or just a one and done, and I'm almost out of mine. So I did get a new one of those. And then I got a new shade. This is the shimmer shade in 67. And this one I thought would be really pretty to pair on top of the matte shades. So this one kind of gives your eye like a wet glaze kind of look. So pretty though. So that is shade 67 right there. So it's like kind of like a champagne gold that just makes your eye look wet, but I thought would be really pretty over any matte eyeshadow, really. So I did get that, and I used this yesterday. I'm really happy with this. It's so pretty. And then I also got one of these from ILIA. This is the Stylus Shadow Stick in the shade Adorn. So ILIA recently released these shadow sticks, and they have tons of shades. There are matte ones and shimmer ones. This is one of the shimmer ones, and it's a really beautiful kind of taupey bronze. It's really pretty. So that is the shade Adorn right there. These are really creamy, very easy to work with. I used this yesterday as well, and I really, really like this. And then one more thing, I did get a new shade of this YSL Mini Clutch Quad. So I have a bunch of these already, and this is one that came out last year during holiday that I really wanted, but I just never picked it up, and I really just couldn't get this one off my mind. So it's over Brun, shade 710. It's neutral. You have a topper and then 3 of the creamy kind of matte shades. Well, actually, this is really the only matte one. These 2 are more metallic, and then this is a topper. But these, if you haven't tried them from YSL, they're so nice. Such a creamy, like buttery feeling eyeshadow formula. And the packaging from YSL, I mean, come on. They always do the packaging the best. So I am first gonna take the Armani Eye Tint. This is shade 18, so this is the one that I repurchased, but this is my old one because I'm trying to use it up. I'm really starting to scrape the sides, but I'm gonna put this all over the eye. I'm gonna do the same eye that I did yesterday because I really liked it. This shade is just perfect for my skin tone. It just kind of evens out the eye, and it's just like barely darker than my skin tone. So I use it all the time. This would be like one of the top things that I would say to buy during the sale if you like cream or liquid shadows and you don't have one of these. These are just so good. They're so easy. They last all day. And then I used the ILIA stick in the shade Adorn, and I kind of just went over my eyelid with this. And then I just used the same brush that I used for the Armani shadow and kind of blended out the edges. This shade is pretty because it's not super cool, not super warm. It pulls pretty neutral, but it looks pretty to me over that Armani shade in 18. But these are very nice from ILIA. I'm thinking I might get one of the matte shades before the sale is over because I like this a lot, and this wore really well on me yesterday. And they have so many pretty colors. Okay, I don't really need this, but I really want to show you shade 67. So I'm going to take a little bit of this on my eye. Look how pretty this is. I just took a tiny bit of it, and then I just kind of took my finger and tapped it. But this doesn't give you much color. It just gives you that kind of wet eye look. So this is like a really good topper for anything that you have. But I really love this one. And it's just so easy. This can like elevate anything you put on your eyes in like 2 seconds. I did also get a new eyeliner. This is so random, but this is from Laura Mercier, and it's the Caviar eye pencil. I'm not sure if these are new or maybe these have been around for a while. I don't know, but I always admired this shade when I'm in Sephora. So I got it when I was in store the other day. But this is the shade Bronze, and it's a really pretty brown, but it almost has like a khaki tone to it so that it looks a little bit green. It's a really, really pretty shade though. Very soft looking. It's not super intense, which I love personally on my eyes. And I used this yesterday. This was very, very nice. It's super creamy and it lasted very well on me. But what I did with this is basically just go on the outer half of my eye like this. Do like a tiny little wing. And then I kind of brought it in like halfway on the eye. And then I also used it in the waterline as well. And it lasted really, really well. And it actually lasted in the waterline. Super, super pretty. So yesterday I applied it kind of like that. And then I took a little smudger brush. This is a 204 from BK Beauty. And I just kind of went over it and just kind of smudged it out just a little bit. And that's it. But this, if you like a really creamy eyeliner, this one is really, really nice. I think it came in like 4 colors, but I really like this bronze shade. Okay, so I love the eye products. I loved them yesterday. I still love them today. I did not use this, the YSL quad. In the next part 2, we'll use this because I have a lot going on my eyes. I don't really need anything else, but I will use this in an upcoming video. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that. But let's move into the mascara. So I did get the Makeup by Mario Master Mascara, and I have some thoughts on this too. I used this yesterday, but this is what the tube looks like. It's just a matte black tube. And this is interesting because he actually, months ago, in last September actually, when I was at Sephora and I went to the Mario Masterclass, somebody in the class asked him when he was coming out with a mascara. And he said that he had been through like 3 or 4 different formulations and he wasn't happy with any of them. So that's why there was no mascara yet in his line. And so this was the one that made the cut, I guess, in the end. But he did say that in the masterclass. And he said that he has used L'Oreal Voluminous mascara for years. And that was kind of his go-to with clients. And then this is what the wand looks like. It's just like a straight across wand. It's a little bit skinnier on the tip, a little bit larger at the base, but it's pretty standard looking. And okay, this is a very, very volumizing mascara. It's also not a super wet formula, which that kind of surprised me. I don't know why I had in my head that this was going to be more of a wet mascara formula. Okay, so there is one coat of this mascara. It is definitely very volumizing, but it does give length as well. It reminds me of YSL Lash Clash. If you're familiar with that one, that's what this reminds me of. I will say I do prefer the brush on this one. YSL Lash Clash I love, but that one has a really large mascara wand. And if you have small eyes or hooded eyes, that can be really difficult. But the effect is very similar to this. And like I said, I wore this yesterday. It did not smudge or flake or anything on me, which is great. So this is nice. I do like this. Is it going to be like my everyday mascara? Probably not, just because I like something more natural for every day, and I also like a brown mascara typically for every day. But this, the more you add, the thicker and more intense your lashes look. Like if you want your lashes to like stand out, this will do that for you. If you're looking for like a soft everyday mascara, this is not gonna be it. This is probably gonna be way too much for you. But I mean, it gives you some lashes for sure. I wish he made it in brown. I would be even more excited about it if he made it in brown, but maybe he will one day. So there's 2 coats. I personally prefer it with just one. I don't think you need 2 coats, but you know, some people really, really like voluminous lashes. And if you do, this will give you that. Yeah, like for me, okay, if I do 1 coat over here, like look at this. Like that was barely any mascara and it already looks pretty good. Yeah, so you can pretty clearly see the difference between this eye with one coat and this eye with 2 coats. I definitely prefer the 1 coat, but that's just personal preference. So that is nice about it. If you want a little bit more of a natural look, I would just apply like 1 thin layer of this. I do think if you want curl, this is not a super curling formula, so definitely curl your lashes beforehand. But I mean, it's very nice. I definitely prefer a little bit more of a natural look, but this wore well on me and I do like it. If this is the kind of mascara you like, I do recommend this. Okay, finally onto the lip products. First thing I got, and this is something I really like. Yes, or I liked it yesterday when I used it. This is from Tower 28. It's the, what is this called? Line, Shine, and Get Lucky lip set. So you get a lip liner and one of their jelly glosses in here. But this lip liner in particular is really nice. I love the color. This one is shade Paint My Number. It's a really nice kind of mauve-y nude. I actually forgot how good the Tower 28 lip liners are. So that is shade Paint My Number right there. But it's really pretty, really nice. So I'm gonna line with this. This is actually the only lip liner that I bought, which is shocking. Usually I have at least 2, sometimes more than that. So this is Paint My Number. See how good that color is though with my natural lip color? And then it comes with this shade in the lip jelly. So this is the shade Lucky. And it's basically just a clear gloss with a little bit of like a pink tint to it. So that is Lucky right there. So you can see you get a little bit of pink, very glossy. And I do really like this formula from Tower 28. But let me show you the other things that I got. So I also got the YSL Love Shine Plumping Lip Oil Gloss in the shade 3 Mellow. And this I also really liked when I tried it yesterday, but it looks like this. I was kind of torn between a few different shades of these. I think I was looking at shade 2, shade 3, and shade 44. And my mom was with me and I asked her which one I should get, and she said shade 3. This is YSL right here. So this one's a little bit more color, a little bit of a warmer pink right here. These are nice. They are pretty thin. They feel oily, like a lip oil, much more so than a gloss. And we'll see what I think today when I apply it. But yesterday, I didn't find these to feel super tingly, but I do feel like they made my lips look a little bit bigger, or it made my lips look a little bit bigger. But I didn't think they hurt or burned or anything like that. And then I got a Refy tinted lip gloss. Yes, I'm a lip gloss person. I love them. They're my favorite thing ever. This one is in the shade Taupe. Also a very pretty shade. This one's a little bit more brown. So that is Refy right there in the shade Taupe. A little bit cooler, not as pink, a little bit more brown. And last, I also got another shade of this. Now I've tried this before. I already have this in Wherever Walnut. This is the Makeup Forever Super Boost Gloss. But this one is in the shade 04 Latte Glaze. So this is just a really pale beige gloss. So I wouldn't use this on its own. I would use this as like a topper. But okay, these, very thick. These are the thickest by far of any of these that I've showed you. This one's very thick and it's very glossy. So that's shade 4 right there. So you can see it's super light. But these, I personally like them because they make your lips literally look wet, kind of like a latex look. That's what this gives you. I like it. I don't mind that it's thick because it lasts. This is the most long-lasting one of all of these because it's thicker. It does have a smell. It kind of smells like Carmex. If you're familiar with Carmex, you know, the lip treatment stuff in the yellow tube. This does kind of smell like that. So I know not everyone loves that, but I just want to point it out. Let's go in with this one. This was, I don't know, this is probably my favorite one that I used yesterday in the shade number 3. So these smell like melon. Do you remember the old YSL Rouge Veloute shines? They had like a melon smell, like a kiwi smell almost. That's what this smells like. Feels really, really good on the lips, but they don't feel plumping to me. Like nothing is burning or stinging. But yet when I took this off yesterday, it did kind of look like it did plump my lips a little bit. So I don't know, but it's not tingling me right now. Let's use Lucky, which is the gloss that comes in the kit. So this is the thinnest of all the glosses. This is very thin, like a watery texture. And these have a really nice smell. They smell like vanilla cupcakes. The Tower 28 glosses, they're just very, very thin. So the total opposite of like this Makeup Forever one. But that is shade Lucky. So those are the 2 products that come together in the kit. This I really like. Took that one off. Now let's do Taupe from refy. Now this one is a little bit thicker than the Tower 28. I would say about the same thickness as the YSL Love Shine, but this one has this metal tip applicator, which is really nice. It feels really cooling, like it feels ice cold when you apply it, which is nice. It kind of looks like the other one though, I know. Y'all, I know what I like, okay? I'm a gloss person, I can't help it. So that is Refy in the shade Taupe. This one does not plump or anything. It's just kind of a standard medium viscosity kind of gloss, not thin or not thick, kind of right in between. But the shade is nice. It looks good with this lip liner. Honestly, everything I've paired with this color, Paint My Number, looks really good with it. So this I really like. I think you can buy this shade individually. Like to me, my lips look bigger. I swear after applying this, my lips do look bigger, even though they don't really feel tingly. I don't know, maybe it's my imagination, but I keep thinking that. Finally, I'll apply a little bit of this. Now this is not something I would wear just on its own like this because it's so light, but I will apply it just so you can see it. But what I was thinking is I would apply this on top of something else to make it look a little bit lighter. But do you see how thick it is? And it does smell like Carmex, so just keep that in mind. But do you see how wet and like glossy it looks on the lips? All right, so that's it for the makeup. Last, I'll just show you the other things I got. I have some hair things, a few skin things that I'll share with you too. I did get some brushes because I need a new brush, like I need a hole in my head, but I love makeup brushes, and what can I say? I'm always wanting to try new ones. So I did get a Sephora collection eye brush. So this is number 26, and I actually did use this yesterday. I put a little bit of my bronzer on my eyes with this, so that's why it looks dirty. But this is just like a pretty standard, kind of longer tapered crease brush. And I mainly got this because I get asked about Sephora collection eye brushes a lot, and I haven't tried them. I've tried a ton of the face brushes, but not the eye ones. So I got this so I could test it and I could speak to them. But I guess we'll do real quickly what I did yesterday, which I took this brush with the Westman Biscuit duo, and I applied a little bit of this in the crease of my eye just to kind of bring everything together, since we used that on the face. And even on the eyes, like I guess it's applying pretty well like this as eyeshadow. Yeah, it doesn't look super patchy on the eyes. I didn't think it did yesterday either. But I don't know, something about it on the face, I'm just not sold on. Anyway, so this is a nice brush. I mean, I could tell it's great quality just using it yesterday. So if you're wondering, this is a really good, like everything crease brush. It's nice because you do have the tapered end. So you can use tapered tip like this to blend, to apply a shadow kind of strategically or in a certain place. This is a really good brush to have in your collection. So I did get that. And then also from Sephora collection, I have not used this one yet. This is the number 98 brush. And this is supposed to be a highlighter brush, but I got this because I thought it might be good for powdering, like strategic powdering. Sometimes I like a fluffier, smaller brush like this for that, or maybe for concealer even under my eyes. Sometimes I like a fluffy brush like this for concealer as well. Kind of reminds me of my FO3. They're actually very similar from Sigma. If you've been around, you know I've loved this brush for a very long time, but I wanted to try the Sephora one, so I did get that as well. And then one more brush. This is so random. I'm honestly not sure why I bought this, but this is from Refy as well, and it's their complexion brush. I guess I could have used this today. I didn't think about it though. I'll use it in the next video, but this is a dual-ended brush that has an angled side, and then this is like a smaller concealer side, or you could use it for powdering under the eyes. But I was just kind of curious. I've never tried brushes from this brand, so I did get that to test out as well. One more makeup product I forgot. I bought this for a specific video, but this is Sephora collection Size Up mascara in brown. So this, obviously it's still wrapped up. I haven't used it, but I'm gonna have some brown mascara videos coming soon. And I bought this for that video since it was 30% off during the sale. So I don't know anything about this yet, but stay on the lookout for a brown mascara video. I also got this. This is so random too, I feel like, but this is from Salt and Stone, and it's their deodorant in saffron and cedar. So this I bought because I have used Donna Karan deodorant for years, and I've noticed like the last month or two, it seems like it's irritating my underarms, and it never done that before. So I don't know if it's a pregnancy thing, or maybe it's not the deodorant and my underarms are just more irritated. I don't know. But I got this just to try something different, and I really like the smell of this in saffron and cedar. I hear really good things about this brand, Salt and Stone. So I'll let you know when I try it, but I did pick this up to test. And now I did get a few hair products. The first one, I tried not to buy this, okay? I did. I tried not to buy it. The Way Leave-In Conditioner. This was in my recommendations video for the sale, if you saw that, but they recently released this in the St. Bart's scent. And St. Bart's is one of their scents, I guess they released probably 2 years ago or so, in like a body cream. There was a hair and body mist. I actually have that already. I have it sitting right here. And it is just the yummiest, most like vacation-y smell you've ever smelled in your life. Like, it's just, every time I smell it, it just, I love it. I love it so much. So I wasn't out of my leave-in from Way yet, but I just had to. I couldn't resist this one because of the smell, and I already know that I love this product from Way. So I did get that. Two more hair things that I got. Really, I don't know why I bought these, to be honest. I was in Sephora, I saw them, here we are. The Kerastase Resistance Shampoo. This Kerastase line, there are so many different ones of the Kerastase hair care. It's hard to really pick. They're like all different colors, and they're all supposed to do different things. This is the, I guess this is for strengthening your hair. If your hair is dry, damaged, have split ends, anything like that. I'm all for anything that's supposed to repair your hair. So I did get this. I'm also using the L'Oreal Everpure Bond Repair right now, but I like to have two different shampoos and conditioners, and I just alternate them. So I got this to be my second one to use with that. And then instead of the conditioner that goes with it, I got the hair mask. I often think that I like a hair mask more than the actual conditioner that goes with a shampoo. So I decided to get this instead of the actual conditioner, and hopefully I like it. I've tried Kerastase products, but it's been years. It's been a long time since I've tried it, and I've never tried this blue one. So I'm excited to test these out. And finally, I have two skincare products. First one is from Skin Fix. This is their Barrier Plus Triple Lipid Peptide Cream. I've never used this before. I've never used anything from this brand before, but I feel like I always hear people talking about this if you have really dry skin, which I do right now, and kind of wanted to try it out. So this one comes in this big blue jar like this, but this is one of the ones where you press the button and the moisturizer comes out of here, which is nice. So you don't have to stick your finger in it. But this is supposed to have, let's see, lots of peptides in it. It's supposed to be great for dehydration, dryness, and to balance dry skin. It has no added fragrance, essential oils, parabens, anything like that. It looks like it has a lot of good skin ingredients. It has glycerin, shea butter, jojoba oil, lots of hydrating things. So I will keep you posted, but I'm excited to give that a try. And then one more skincare product from Caudalie. This is the Resveratrol Lift Night Cream. If you saw my recommendations video, I mentioned I've been using Caudalie Resveratrol Lift Serum at night. That's what I've been using in pregnancy in place of a retinol. So I was gonna repurchase that because I'm almost out of it, but I decided to get the cream instead because I follow a creator on Instagram. Her name is Angela Park, I believe is her name. And she makes really, really good content on Instagram and TikTok. I will link her in the description box, but she is always raving about this cream. I was watching one of her Sephora videos. She was saying she's repurchased this like 4 or 5 times, that this was like her holy grail night cream. And I really like her. I really like the products that she recommends. So I decided to give this a try instead of getting the serum again. So I'm going to be testing this out as well. All right, that is everything that I picked up during the sale. And let's go through the stuff that we tried today. I'll kind of give you my initial thoughts on them because I'm not blown away by everything that I tried. I like some of these things a lot and I'm very like on the fence about others. But let's go through them. This I am really excited about. I'm excited to keep using it, the Ciele Prime and Protect Primer. I like this. If you have dry skin and you like something with SPF under your makeup, to really, add extra protection to your skin, you might like this. Feels great on the skin, very hydrating, and it does add some glow. So if you don't want glow, you definitely want to stay away from this. But I like how it layered over my SPF. It didn't make anything pill or act weird. So this I am very excited to continue using. The Givenchy foundation, this is really pretty. Really, really pretty. I enjoy this. I'm not gonna say it's like a new favorite, like I'm blown away by it. It's, it's a similar type of foundation to my Makeup Forever Hydro Glow, which I love. And that's like tried and true for me. But it's nice. It's nice. It's very thin, very lightweight. Probably one of the most lightweight foundations I've tried in quite a while. Nice medium coverage, and it looks pretty on the skin. I'm curious to try this without the Ciele primer underneath, just to see, how it does without anything other than my skincare. I'm not gonna say it's, anything that I'm like over the moon about, but I do like it. It looks pretty on the skin. The Refy concealer, not a fan of this. Very light coverage, so that right there kind of brings it down on the totem pole for me because I don't love a light coverage concealer. I bought it mainly because I've heard several people say it was actually more than light coverage. I don't agree. I think this is definitely light coverage. Very thin, very watery in the texture. It just doesn't do enough for me. So I feel like I would always have to mix this with something to make it work. So I don't know. I do think, like I said yesterday, when I applied it on its own and I didn't mix it, it really creased right here, like really, really creased. And it just doesn't give me much of anything. I think if you want something like this with a lighter coverage, I would go for Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, hands down. Because that one is very thin, lightweight, but it actually covers a little bit. It's very hydrating, and I don't find that it creases nearly as much as this. So this is a skip for me. I'll try to keep using it and mix it with things, but not a huge fan of that. The Givenchy powder. I'm actually kind of glad I had to refilm this video today, because yesterday when I filmed it, I thought I liked this more than I do. Today, I was not as much of a fan of it. I definitely, like I said earlier, prefer it with a brush. I think I just like the way it looks overall a little bit better with the brush. With the puff, I mean, I will give it to it. It does mattify and kind of, I guess you could say, kind of smooth the area, but it does look dry. I mean, under my eyes, it looks dry, especially this side. My under eyes don't look good today. They don't look good. Now, it could be the concealer, it could be the powder, it could be the combination of the two. I don't know, but I'm not loving it. I wonder if maybe this powder is just not for me, because I didn't love the loose version. And now, years later, I'm trying this and I'm not loving this either. But I also tried a whole face of new products with it, so it's kind of hard to say. This is not like a you need to run out and get it product for me at this point. The most disappointing products of the whole video, I don't really know what to say. I don't really know what to say about these yet. I can't really comment on the blush duo since we barely applied those. So that we'll use in another video, but the Petal and the Biscuit, this is just not easy to use. It's just not easy to use. And for $75, this should be like the easiest bronzer to use that I own, you know? Because this is like one of the most expensive powder duos or powder products in general that I have in my collection. And it's just something about it. Biscuit in particular just does not apply smoothly. I don't know why. Maybe if I used, you know, a different powder and really like totally set the entire area, maybe I'd feel differently. I don't know, but I don't want to do that. And most days I don't do that with my makeup. So right there, that's going to make it so that I don't want to reach for this. You know what I mean? It definitely looks better today than yesterday, but I'm not in love with it. Definitely not in love with it. I will keep testing it. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. If you've tried it, let me know what you think. But I'm definitely disappointed in this for the price. Now, Petal looks pretty on my skin. It applied well. I don't feel like Petal looks that patchy either, which is so confusing because you would think it would be the exact same formula and they would apply the same way. I'm definitely disappointed in these. I would not spend your $75 on those. The Haus Labs bronzer, I think this is pretty. I like the color. I feel like I need to use it with another base though, because like I said, I feel like my base today just was a no for me. I like the eye products, I like the lip products, but the base in general, I'm not loving. I definitely love the Haus Labs side more than the other side, but I don't love the foundation, concealer, powder combo today. So I feel like it's kind of unfair to judge all these powders because I'm not loving the base in general. And it's hard to do a full face and judge everything and know like what's causing what issue. You know what I mean? I have used the old version of this and love it. So I think of the two, the Westman and the Haus Labs, I would absolutely go for the Haus Labs for sure. Let's see. Now, the eye products I absolutely love. So the Armani tint, the eye tint 18M, this was a repurchase. One of the best things I could recommend to you at Sephora for the sale. This new one in the sparkly shade. I mean, look at that, guys. If you like this kind of thing, you need this in your life. 67S. So pretty. So those I'm happy with. The ILIA stick, the eye stylus in the shade Adorn. So pretty, so pretty, so easy. Very good, like one and done metallic shadow in a pretty neutral color for my skin tone. But like I said, there are so many colors. There are matte ones, there are metallic ones, so many pretty ones. Very easy to use. I wore this yesterday and it wore beautifully. So that I am also very happy with. YSL palette we didn't use, but I'll use it in an upcoming video. And the liner, the Laura Mercier liner, the Caviar liner in bronze. Okay, I love this. And y'all know me. I love the Victoria Beckham eyeliners. And I love the Sephora collection 12-hour liners. This one is definitely creamier than the Sephora collection liners. Those are a little bit more stiff. They're not unusable. They're still pretty easy to use, but they're not quite as creamy as this. But that liner, if you like something soft, blendable, really easy to use, I like this a lot. And yesterday I had it in the waterline and it wore really well there as well. So this I'm happy with. The Mario mascara I think is beautiful if you like a really intense mascara. If you don't, this won't be for you. This is gonna give you intense lashes like right away. Even with one coat, like this side is a little bit less intense than this side. You can get a little bit of a softer look if you just apply one really light, thin coat of it, but this is not a super natural looking mascara. So if that's what you like, I would not recommend this one for you, but for what it is, it's a great mascara. It gives you very intense, voluminous lashes, and it didn't flake or smudge on me. So if you like this type of formula, I think you would probably like this mascara. And then finally, the lip products I also really like. The things I'm most excited about are Tower 28 Duo, this lip liner and the gloss I love. I mean, it's a lip liner and a clear lip gloss basically, but this is what I love and what I wear all the time. And I love this lip liner shade. So this I think is a pretty good deal. I think this is $24 and then discounted for the sale. But I love that. And I really like the Love Shine from YSL. I think this is really pretty. I mean, do you need it? No, you don't. It's a very expensive lip oil, basically. But it's really nice on the lips if you like this type of product. I like it. I do think it makes your lips larger, I swear. I really do think it does plump the lips, but it does not burn or tingle me either, which is kind of strange, but I like this. The Refy gloss, I mean, it's just kind of a standard gloss. I will say I like the metal tip applicator because it's so cold, but this is probably the one I like the least. There's nothing really special about it, but I'm a gloss girl and I'm gonna come home with all the glosses. That's just who I am. And then I like the Makeup Forever formula, but I like a thick lip gloss and I like something that is very, very wet looking on the lips. If you don't, you will hate this. And it does smell like Carmex, so keep that in mind. All right, that is everything for today. That was a lot. I will have all the products listed, of course, and linked for you in the description box and in YouTube shopping as well. If you're interested in anything, it will all be there with my shades and everything. If you do shop through my links, I do make a commission that supports my channel. Thank you so much to those of you that do that. It really does help me a lot. And if you're new, I would love for you to stick around, subscribe, and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss part 2, because I'll try the rest of the products in another video here in the next few days. So be on the lookout for that, but I will see you again very soon. Remember, simply be you.